Hi guys, hope all of us are doing great. My name is Ernest, and I'd like to welcome each and every one of us to my channel of Ernest Sciences and Mathematics TV channel. So I'd like to request our members to kindly go to YouTube and search Ernest Sciences and Mathematics TV channel, subscribe and engage us in the comment section for more topics on mathematics, chemistry, physics and biology and other related content. So in this specific video, we're going to look at a range of terminologies. And this is going to complement on the first video where we have looked at different aspects of algebra, which of course we had just given a general definition of algebra, and then we talked about various terminologies, which of course, which of course included unknown numbers, literal symbols, algebraic operations, and algebraic expressions, respectively. Now, in this specific video, we're going to look at a second set of course, essentials of algebra that we need to know. And I've talked about the concept of a term. So in this specific case, whenever we're going to talk about a term or terms in algebra, these are going to constitute any of its parts which are or may be connected by the operation, the signs of operations or the signs of addition. So for instance, if I may give an expression of this specific form, so this is 3b minus 2xy. So if I give this specific expression or algebraic expression, then therefore a term is going to refer to as any of its parts which are or may be connected by this additional operation signs given as such. So therefore we are going to give the different terms of this specific expression as 4a squared and 3b and then negative 2xy. So basically we're going to see that these are the terms which are going to be connected by a positive or an addition sign. So therefore the three constitute what we refer to as terms of this specific algebraic expression. And then next we're going to look at what we call factors. And in this particular case, factors are going to be one or two of the many the quantities which are going to be multiplied together to form the final product. For instance, if I have 3.8, so let me just use this. So for factors, these are the quantities which are going to be multiplied in order to obtain the final product. For instance, if I have 3.8 RQ, then therefore I'm going to have 3.8 being a factor of this specific expression. And then I'm going to have R and the Q. So the three of them are going to constitute factors of this specific algebraic expression given as such. So apart from terms, we're going to have factors in algebraic expression. And of course, I talked about the literal symbols in our first video, which I said these are basically going to be letters which are going to represent known real numbers. And I said that we can be able to represent literal factors or the literal symbols using specific letters which are mentioned can be any of the letters that we're going to use given as such. And for literal factors, contrary to the literal symbols, we're going to see that they are going to constitute part of an algebraic expression which is going to constitute these specific letters that I've mentioned. So for this particular expression, then therefore we're going to have the literal symbols of the literal factors of this expression given as P, Q. So the P and Q constitute the literal factors of that specific expression. And of course, we're going to look at what we refer to as coefficient. And in algebraic expressions, we're going to, of course, see that the coefficients are going to be factors in a product, which of course are going to be given in a specific nature. So for instance, I can just be able to give an expression like 7at squared. So in this particular case, 7 is going to constitute a coefficient. 7 is going to be a coefficient of a2 squared. And then 7a is going to be a coefficient of t squared. And then I can give a t squared is going to be a coefficient of 7a given as such. So therefore, a coefficient is going to be referred to as n factor in a product, of course, of the other remaining factors. As you can see, I've just chosen from the first one the numerical figure of 7 to represent the coefficient of the other remaining. So in any case, if I choose either of the two or either of the three, then I choose the two, the other remaining one is going to be taken as or are the coefficients of the other factors respectively. And then lastly, we're going to see that we're going to have what we refer to as, apart from this, we're going to have what we, just like we had literal symbols and literal factors, in this particular case, we're going to have what we refer to as numerical coefficients. And for numerical coefficients are going to be the numerical aspect of these specific expressions. For instance, if I give this specific 2.73 pq, I'm going to have the numerical coefficient of this specific as a number which is 2.73 given as a numerical coefficient over this specific expression. So in this particular video, I hope that we are going to understand the concept of terms, which I've said are algebraic expressions, of course, which are parts of the algebraic expressions which have been multiplied in order to attain or connected together using the addition sign. And I've given an example of an expression whereby we say that if we have, for instance, we have an expression like 3a squared plus 4b plus perhaps this is 3c. And therefore, these are the various terms of this specific expression that we're going to see. And the literal factors are going to be the letter which are going to be given in this specific case. The coefficients are going to be n of the factors of the remaining. If I choose 7, then therefore the coefficient is going to be 80 given as such, and the numerical coefficients are going to be the number aspect of this specific expression. So this is going to form our second and of course our next complementary part of this essentials of algebra that we're going to look at, and they are going to assist us to interpret the various meanings of course, a combination of expressions that we're going to come across, especially in trying to deal with aspects of algebra. And of course, it's going to complement on this and assist us in trying to evaluate. Bye, God bless you. Catch us in our next video.